You texted back, not because you wanted to, because the notification sat there long enough that the guilt of not responding started to feel worse than the effort of actually responding. So now you're typing something warm and vague. Oh my God, yes, we should definitely catch up soon. And you both know that soon means never, and you're both fine with that. And somehow that's the part that feels weird. This is not a small thing. There are millions of people right now maintaining friendships that exist almost entirely in the form of birthday posts and occasional thinking of you reacts. Friendships that were real once, that mattered once, that now mostly exist because nobody officially ended them. I had a friend in my late 20s I'd known since college. We'd grab coffee every 3 months, spend 40 minutes catching each other up on people we no longer had in common, and leave feeling vaguely tired. Not bad, just tired. And I kept scheduling the next one because ending it felt like erasing something that used to mean a lot. We're not here to decide who's a good friend and who isn't. We're here to understand exactly how your brain performs closeness it no longer feels, and why that performance looks so much like loyalty. And it starts with something your nervous system is doing that has nothing to do with how much you care about this person. The first thing to understand is what social energy actually is. Your brain runs a finite budget for social processing. Psychologists call it the social cognitive load. Tracking someone's emotional state, predicting their reactions, modulating your own behavior accordingly, this costs something. It costs attention. It costs regulatory energy, and that budget is not unlimited. When a friendship is alive, when it's reciprocal, when it's growing, when it's genuinely feeding you, the cost feels invisible. You don't notice you're spending because the return is there. But when a friendship has calcified into ritual, you feel it. That low-grade fatigue after a dinner where you talked for 2 hours about surface things and somehow said nothing. The second concept, cognitive anchoring. Your brain forms an association between a person and who you were when they mattered most to you, which means every time you see their name in your phone, you're not just seeing them, you're seeing a version of yourself. The one who needed that friendship, and breaking the pattern feels neurologically like abandoning that old self. Third, the sunk cost reflex. Behavioral economics has a name for what happens when we keep investing in something because of what we've already put in. Economists call it loss aversion. Your brain weights the loss of an existing relationship twice as heavily as the neutral absence of a new one. So even a friendship that gives you nothing now feels harder to release than never having started it. Now, when we understand the wiring, let's look at what this actually looks like on a regular Tuesday. Stage 1, the placeholder friend. The scene, you're scrolling through your contacts trying to find someone to actually call. You pass 12 names. Each one has a reason. Too much effort to explain context. You'd have to catch them up on the last 6 months. It would turn into a longer thing. So you put your phone down. What your brain is doing, it's sorting. It's distinguishing between people who know your current self and people who know a version of you that no longer fully exists. These are your placeholder friends. People you're holding in position because the friendship was real and you haven't found a better framework for what it is now. Your brain isn't broken. It's doing exactly what it learned. That relationships require maintenance, and maintenance requires showing up. It just never learned that some relationships are allowed to be in a different category. Not dead, not active, just complete. Stage 2, the performance of closeness. The scene, you're at dinner with someone you've known for 8 years. The conversation is fine, pleasant even, but you're monitoring yourself, choosing what to share, what to skip, doing a low-level calculation of what version of this story this person can receive. You're performing the friendship rather than being in it. What your brain is doing, it's protecting you. The intimacy muscles have atrophied with this person, but your brain still has the procedural memory of how this friendship used to feel. So you go through the motions, not because you're dishonest, because you genuinely don't know how to be in a room with this person without running the old program. And here's the part that nobody says out loud. They're probably doing the same thing. Both of you are performing for each other's benefit, which means the friendship has become a mutual courtesy, not a connection. Your brain isn't broken. It's maintaining social contracts it was taught are permanent. Stage 3, the guilt loop. The scene. You consider canceling. And immediately there's this internal voice that starts listing evidence. They were there when your dad got sick. They showed up when you needed help moving. They know your history. And you think, how can I pull back from someone who's done all of that? What your brain is doing, it's running a ledger. It's conflating what someone did with who they are to you now. It's treating loyalty as a debt with no expiration date. The guilt is not a moral signal. It's a cognitive one. Your brain flagging that you're about to do something that violates the social rules it internalized. Don't abandon people. Return what you were given. Connection is scarce. Protect it. Your brain isn't broken. It learned those rules for good reasons. It just didn't account for the possibility that some friendships can matter deeply in the past without requiring a future. Here's one thing you can try. You don't have to. Instead of asking, "Are we still close?" ask a different question. Would I reach out to this person if we just met? Not whether they're a good person, not whether you have history, whether right now with who you both are, there's something genuinely there. This works because it bypasses the sunk cost reflex. It's not about erasing the past. It's about separating memory from obligation. You can be grateful for a chapter without pretending it's still the chapter you're in. And then, you don't have to end anything. Friendship doesn't always require a formal closing. What it requires is honesty about the category. Some people move from close friend to warm acquaintance, and that's not a failure. That's a completely legitimate relationship. You're allowed to respond to their text with something genuine and brief. You're allowed to not schedule the next coffee. You're allowed to let the natural frequency of the friendship reflect its natural place in your life. You're redesigning your social circle to match your actual current self. That's not cold, that's honest. And here's what that makes possible. Your social energy is finite. That's not a personality flaw, that's biology. When you keep spending it on performances, you have less of it for presence. And presence is the only thing that makes a friendship feel like a friendship. Releasing a placeholder friend is not betrayal. It's making room. It's being honest about what the relationship actually is, rather than what it used to be. History is real. It counts. It just doesn't have to determine your future social calendar. You don't owe anyone a friendship your current self can't actually show up for. Final question. Which friendship in your life are you maintaining for them? And which ones are you maintaining for the version of yourself that needed them?